Okay. Great. So, and I took my socks off, so hopefully you can see my feet. And I'm trying to wear this dark colors against this lighter background so that you can see my movements. Hopefully that works. If something isn't working, if you can't see, if you can't hear, it is totally okay to unmute yourself and call out and let me know. So just so you know that that is allowed. Okay, so let's begin by just standing. And so bring yourself into a comfortable standing posture. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open. Either way is fine. We're just going to take a moment to bring our awareness to the three treasures in this new posture. I was sitting, and so I just stood up. So I want to recenter. If you were sitting and are just standing up, then this will allow you to do that as well. If you've been standing, you can recenter again because, you know, it's always worth doing again and again. So beginning by tuning in to your body and your alignment within gravity. Another way of saying that is tuning into your alignment between heaven and earth. Noticing your breath as it moves into and through your body. And noticing the focus and the quality of your mind. Good. So let's begin with some alignment. So I'm not sure if you can see, but what I'm doing is I'm lifting my toes off of the ground. So we're going to begin from the ground, work our way up. So we're starting with an awareness of our feet. And so tuning in to your feet on the ground. There goes the cat with the mind of its own. And so tuning into your feet on the ground and lifting your toes. And I recommend lifting your toes so that you can tune in to the hard parts of your feet, because these are the parts of your foot that are designed to carry weight. In particular, the heels and the outside edges of the foot, as well as the balls of the feet, specifically the big toe mound. So just take a moment to tune into that. And you might need to soften your knees a little bit so that you can feel those 3 points of contact a little bit more. Again, the 3 points are the heels, the outside edge of the foot, and the big toe mound. A lot of times, some people will come into your class and they may have knees that bend inwards a little bit. They might have collapsed arches. They might have foot, ankle, knee, hip, low back, shoulder, neck problems. A lot of that can be assisted, treated by bringing your weight into the hard parts of your feet, because again, that's how we're designed to stand. And when we think about the feet, there's the heels in the back, there's the big toe mound in the front. The outside edges of the feet are really the bridge between those two. So I would really emphasize rolling onto the outside edges of your feet so that you can feel it. You know, Master Joe in Wudang, he literally stood like this, like up, off of the inside of his foot, the outside edges of his foot, he was rolling out onto them. Just, I think, to demonstrate to us that that's how he wanted us to stand. So you don't have to be that extreme with it, but I would encourage you to allow your weight to settle into the outside edges of the feet. One way to think about it, and a nice way to cue it, is that if you're standing in a very narrow hallway and you're almost pressing the edges of your feet into the sides of the wall that come down to the floor, pressing that way, wide. And you can feel how this will activate the outside edges of your legs. The knees have to be unlocked so that you can engage in this way. And it gives you a lot of mobility. You can be very springy and bouncy in this way. And so again, we're not settling and compressing into our bones or onto our skeleton. We're activating muscles. We're activating chi. We're using gravity to rise up against gravity so that we can be more mobile. We can be grounded and solid and at the same time very light and very, very nimble. So rooting into the outside edges of the feet, finding that balance between the heel and the ball of the big toe, and feeling that, noticing that. And moving up the legs, again, finding activation, strength in the legs. If you're feeling the legs getting stiff or tight, see if you can find a balance point. We're not stiff, we're strong. And then from that strong, stable lower body, we have the pelvis, and out of the pelvis, the spine rises and the spine blooms into the rib cage. And if you'd like, you can take a deeper breath into your rib cage so you can feel what ribs move as you breathe. And I would invite you to breathe into the back side of the rib cage. This is the area of the rib cage that is designed to be breathed into. The muscles on the back of the rib cage tend to get weak from sitting in chairs and driving in cars and modern lifestyles. So just by breathing into the back of the rib cage, we can activate those muscles. We can turn them on. We can bring more breath into our bodies. We can create space around our heart so that the heart can beat, the lungs can breathe. And so again, breathing into the back of the rib cage. And from the back of the rib cage, we continue on up the neck into the head. And there's a lot of cueing that says, you know, lift your head up, reach your head to the top, to the sky. I see in classes when I say lift the head, a lot of people do this. And that's not so much what we're going for. So what I have found to be much more helpful is if you reach behind and find the point of the center of the back of your skull. It's called the occipital protuberance, or you can just call it the point on the back of the skull. Gently, if you touch it with your finger, just gently press into your finger. Reach through your occipital protuberance, and what happens? The back of the neck gets longer, you feel yourself get a little bit taller, and the chin tucks very slightly. And so I find this cue to be very useful, reaching through the occipital protuberance. That's what brings the head up towards the top of the sky without lifting the chin. You're lengthening the back of the neck. You're decompressing the cervical vertebra. You might notice if you reach through the occipital protuberance, it becomes easier to breathe into the backside of the rib cage, and you feel yourself root into your heels a little bit more strongly. So something to play with. Again, outside edges of the feet, breathing into the back of the rib cage, and reaching gently through the occipital protuberance on the back of the head. And this can do quite a bit for bringing the rest of the alignment right where we want it, so that just standing becomes quite an active exercise. So feeling your posture, this active, strong posture, even though we're just standing here. Breathing through the whole body. And then I'll invite you to also just create a little bit of space between your arms and your body. And I'm doing this by, just as I'm doing with the outside edges of my feet, I'm thinking about my elbows and the outside edges of my arms and shoulders, kind of reaching wide to the walls on either side of the room. And this helps to open up a lot of space in between my arms and body. It allows me to breathe a little bit more fully into the sides of my rib cage. I can breathe wide as well as tall and deep. There's an acupuncture point that begins in the armpit. It's the first point on the heart meridian, and the name is the utmost source, the utmost spring. And so thinking about, as we're doing our practice, as we're doing anything, we want to come from our hearts. We want to be connected to the utmost source when we do things. And so this posture helps to open that acupuncture point, helps to open the heart meridian, helps us to breathe, helps us to drop in to our bodies so that we can be fully embodied as consciousness. And then from here, if you'd like to just let your arms float out to the side, and we're going to embrace the Tai Chi ball. So this is the couch side, and this is the guitar side. And so we're going to bring the couch hand underneath and the guitar hand above. and we're going to embrace the Tai Chi. As Master Joe would say, hold the ball. So holding your ball, check back in, rooting into the outside edges of the feet, taking a breath into the back of the rib cage, extending through the occipital protuberance, feeling what this feels like. And then if you'd like, you can inhale the arms wide. And then exhale, guitar hand is underneath this time. And again, just moving, inhaling, alternating side to side. The couch hand is underneath, holding the ball. And then inhale and exhale. And let's hold here and take a breath. Inhale. And then exhale, open your arms wide. Inhale, the couch hand underneath. Exhale, wide. Inhale, the couch hand is on top. And relax. So now we'll move through some of the movements that you know, that you're very familiar with. And again, I'm standing still. My weight isn't going to shift too much because we're just doing just the standing. But my feet are angled slightly outward, just so that I have a little more room to move. You can do that as well. You can start with your feet in one position. If, as you're moving, you need to adjust them, please do that. So we have the guitar hand underneath. So let's harmonize heaven and earth. So the guitar hand just floats up while the couch hand floats down. And it doesn't have to be too much. We're not extending too far forward, too far outward, and then just come back, embrace the ball. And don't worry about the breath pattern, just breathe naturally. Harmonize heaven and earth on the other side, so one hand floats up, the other hand floats down. And then hold the ball. Harmonize heaven and earth. We're just reviewing hand movements here. Embrace Tai Chi. Harmonize heaven and earth. And embrace Tai Chi. I'm going to turn to the side a little bit because again, I'm not really moving too much. So the guitar hand, harmonize heaven and earth, floats up. The hand is really just floating from the bottom to the top. And then holding the ball. Other side, harmonize heaven and earth. Keep it simple. And hold the ball. So the guitar hand is underneath. Let's transition. So flip the ball. And I feel like this ball flipping doesn't get enough whatever it needs. Like Roger talked about it a little bit, but I feel like it could be talked about more. Let's flip it back. Flip the ball, like turn it side to side. This is a powerful, like fun movement. It's like, I feel like it's like a kung fu master on a mountaintop, just playing with the universe, like turning the ball over. So the couch hand is underneath, turn it over again, and just feel, root into the outside edges of the feet so the movement comes from your feet up your legs and it just flips the ball, and there's so much chi and awareness in the whole body. And now the couch hand is underneath, and so we'll brush knee, sen chi, so just drop the ball with the lower hand, and the upper hand falls, and then we'll come across. And let's do this just a little differently. So we're not going to stop here. This upper hand is just going to fall down, and the lower hand is going to rise up. And when it comes up to about head level, let the hand lay flat, and it can come across the body, and maybe it starts to lift as it comes across, and then just let it drop down. And as it does, the other hand comes up. So we're just making circles here. It's kind of like a little bit of a push as we make the circles. They float up and then come across. And this time, as the hand comes across, we can stop, and the lower hand picks up the ball. Hold it, find it, feel it. And then the lower hand drops the ball. The upper hand falls away, coming across the body. And then the lower hand picks up the ball. And the lower hand drops the ball. And the upper hand comes across the body. Lower hand picks up the ball. One more time. Lower hand drops the ball. Coming across the body. And then we'll pause. Again, the lower hand sweeps up, so crossing the arms, embrace the tiger. The couch hand is the arm that's closer to me, so it's the hand that's going to begin the movement. So just let the hand come down and then let it come right off the side of you. It doesn't have to go behind you, just to the side, and then send it forward, cut through to clarity. Guitar hand drops down, sweeps out, and comes forward. And just going side to side here. So the couch hand cuts through, and the guitar hand cuts through. And this time the couch hand sweeps all the way in front. Embrace the tiger. The couch hand is in front, so we're going to part the clouds. And the couch hand comes down and across the front of the body, and then it floats up as the other hand floats down, and now both hands come across. And we're just standing. We're not doing too much of a weight shift as the arms switch and then come across. And it's almost like drawing a square where we have one side of the square and we have the top and the bottom of the square, and then we have the other side. And over time, the corners of the square might start to become a little more rounded, and the whole movement becomes a little more fluid. And we can see how this is very similar to what we were doing with brush knee and sen chi, but rather than pushing, it's more of a pull. Breathing naturally. And then the next time that your hand floats in front of your face, you can pause. Lower hand sweeps up to cross, embracing the tiger, and then open the arms out. Send your hips back, a gentle bend in the knees to gather from the earth. Press through your heels as you come up, and then relax, let it go. Reach up, gathering from the sky, bringing it down. Let's do one more. We can inhale and exhale, just as deep as you'd like to go. Press through your heels on the inhale. Exhale, relax. And then inhale and exhale down. And then let's return to this posture with our arms a little bit wide, hands are relaxed, elbows and shoulders reaching towards the walls on either side of you, rooting into the outside edges of the feet, breathing into the back of the rib cage, reaching through your occipital protuberance. Reset. Feel what you feel. So now we'll start introducing a little bit of a weight shift. So let your arms float out to the side. And we're going to bring the guitar hand underneath to embrace the Tai Chi. And as we do, we'll shift our weight to the couch side of the room. And just embracing Tai Chi, open wide. And then weight shift, the couch hand comes underneath. Weight is on the guitar side of the room. And again, opening wide. And lower hand picks up the ball, weight shifts towards the couch. And this is where, if you need, you can pick up your toes, you can pivot out a little bit so that we can harmonize heaven and earth. And so, weight shift, harmonize heaven and earth. And again, we're not going too far. We're not reaching all the way over here. We're just coming, we're pretty much like straight up and down, but there's a little bit of a weight shift in this direction. And then we can rock back, the toes can come up and pivot, face forward, and then couch hand picks up the ball. Maybe pivoting slightly with the couch toes, and then harmonize heaven and earth. Rock back, pivot. Lower hand picks up the ball. That's a theme, the lower hand doing a lot of stuff, gathering us together. Again, harmonize towards the guitar side, weight shift, rock back and pivot, lower hand picks up the ball. Transition, so turn the ball over with power, with chi. Guitar hand is underneath, it's holding the ball, and it will drop the ball. The toes can pivot, and then weight shift towards the couch. Rock back, pivot the toes forward, lower hand picks up the ball. And then drop the ball. Guitar toes can pivot, weight shift, rock back, pivot toes forward, lower hand gathers everything up, picks up the ball, our weight is on that side, we're where we need to be. And then drop the ball, pivot, weight shift, transition, lower hand sweeps up, embrace the tiger. The guitar hand is closer to us this time, so it will begin the movement. It drops down and out, and we can shift towards that arm and then cut through to clarity. And other side, just side to side with a weight shift to that side. The arm creates momentum that just pulls us along with it. And as that momentum pulls us to one side, we can come off of the heel of that other foot. We can lift that foot completely off the ground if we want to. And we can just feel the momentum of the form carrying us along, which is ideally how it happens all the way through. This time the couch hand sweeps around in front, embracing the tiger. The couch hand is in front, so as we part the clouds, the couch hand comes down, and across the body we can shift our weight with that lower hand, and then the hands switch, and both hands come across, and we can weight shift. And as the hands switch, we lift and shift, and lift and shift. And again, lift and shift. One more time, switching the hands. And when the hands come in front of the face, the lower hand sweeps up. Embrace the tiger. Opening the arms wide, send the hips back, gather from the earth, press through your heels to stand up, and then relax. Reaching the arms up, gathering from the sky, down through the body. Let's do one more. So we can inhale and exhale. Inhaling up. Exhale, relax. And inhale. And exhale. And return to our neutral position, which is not limp, it's neutral. So root into the outside edges of your feet. Let your knees be bent. Let your elbows and your shoulders spread wide. Breathe into the back of the rib cage and extend through the occipital protuberance. Find your alignment. Find your length up into the sky, down into the earth. Find your width to either side of you, the walls or the whatever kind of room you're in or outside, and the depth, front and back. So length, width, depth, 360 degrees, every direction, all at once. Breathe, feel. So now let's step side to side. So let's let the arms float out. Let's do the couch hand underneath this time. As the couch hand comes in, we're going to step our foot together and pick up the ball. Embrace Tai Chi. And with this foot, you can be balanced on the ball of your foot. Your foot can be flat, but with a little bit more weight in the guitar side leg, whatever works for you. And then we're going to step first, and then open the arms wide. And then pick up the ball with the guitar hand. So lower hand picks everything up, and the foot comes in. So again, this lower hand really is another way for us and for us to tell our students to follow along. Like the lower hand does a lot. It's the one that's leading the movement. It's the one that's gathering in. It's doing so much. So tuning into the lower hand, which changes sides every time, which is kind of fun. So stepping out and then opening wide, and then the lower hand, the couch hand, picks up the ball and we step in. So let's harmonize heaven and earth. So stepping out onto the heel so that my toes can pivot wherever they want to go, whichever direction I want to go. And then I'm going to weight shift, which we were just doing. Weight shift. And then rock back, pivot the toes to face forward. Lower hand, guitar hand, picks up the ball and the foot steps in. And then step out first onto the heel, weight shift. Harmonize heaven and earth. Rock back, toes pivot, lower hand picks up the ball. One more time on each side. And you may notice you might be inching forward very slowly, so you're already walking. The walking is happening automatically. So stepping out onto the heel, weight shift, harmonize heaven and earth. Rock back, pivot, lower hand picks up the ball. Let's transition. Flip the ball like a Qigong, Tai Chi, Kung Fu master on Wudong Mountain. Couch hand is underneath. This time we drop the ball first, and as the hands are off to our side, now we can step out, and then the guitar hand continues across the body to brush knee, and the couch hand, the upper hand, sends chi, weight shift, rock back, pivot on the toes, lower hand, guitar hand, picks up the ball, and the foot gathers in. Drop the ball, step out, weight shift, brush knee, send chi. Rock back, the toes come up, pivot, lower hand, couch hand, picks up the ball, the foot steps in. One more time, lower hand drops the ball, stepping out, weight shift, lower hand, guitar hand, sweeps up, embrace the tiger. The couch hand is closest to us, so it drops down and floats out to the side, and then send it forward. Guitar hand does the same thing. Cut through to clarity. And again, you can bring your foot off the ground if you'd like. If that's not available, just lift your heel. If that's not available, just weight shift. And feel the momentum of the movement telling you where to go. Sometimes when people are learning this movement, they say, which foot do I lift as my hand is moving out? Well, which foot automatically lifts as you do this movement? It's like there's only one way it can really happen. So allow the movement to inform the movement. One more time, couch hand sweeps around, embrace the tiger. Couch hand is out front, so we part the clouds, and the couch hand floats down and across. And as it comes up, the guitar hand comes down, and we watch clouds, and we can weight shift. And then lift and shift and lift and shift. One more time, lift, and as your upper hand comes in front of your face, lower hand sweeps up, embrace the tiger. Open wide, gather from the earth, send the hips back, weight is in the heels, press through the heels with your strong legs to come up, and then relax. Gather from the sky, and relax. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Pressing up, exhale, and inhale, exhale. And then let's just shake that off for a moment. So, That was a lot that we just moved through, but it's not new to any of you, so hopefully that's good. I'll take just a moment. Is there anything that anybody has questions, concerns about, needs any other information? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the walking, which again, you may have noticed just by doing the stepping in place, you were already doing the walking. You know, the walking is very easy. We spent a lot of time on walking, and it may have made it seem a little bit more complex than it actually is. So again, what we were just doing, stepping in and then stepping out, weight shifting, rocking back to pivot, and then gathering everything in, that's all that we're doing. The only thing is that rather than stepping right out to the side, we're taking a very small step forward. And again, this step, it doesn't have to be far out in front of you. It's actually better, I think, more useful, especially when you're teaching a class in a smaller room, to take a step wide and just maybe a ½ inch forward. And then you'll be moving forward very easily, very gradually, and you'll have plenty of room to do all the things that you want to do, rocking back, pivoting, gathering the feet together, and then taking a small step out to the side. And this is all that it is. It's so easy and really, you know, a nice walking meditation, as David mentioned. So let's do that. Let's do what we know how to do already, which is great because since we already know how to do it, we can focus less on the specifics of the form and we can deepen more into an embodiment of the principles. So let's start with our feet a little closer together, and we can even bring our hands, one hand folded on top of the other, thumbs touching. This is called Diamond Mudra, and it's a nice beginning place to begin. And again, we're not focusing so much on the breath right now. We're just practicing the form, occasionally noticing that we're breathing. So let's soften our knees, let the hands come to the sides, and then we can step out towards the couch. The arms can float out to the side, and then the guitar hand is going to pick up the ball and we'll step in. Hold the ball. Find your center. Just like tune in, be here, be fully here. And then a gentle step out to the side, not too far forward. Toes are up, and then weight shift, harmonize heaven and earth. You don't have to go too far. Doesn't have to be too big. Rock back, lift your toes, pivot. Lower hand picks up the ball, and the foot comes in. Hold the ball. Step out first, and then weight shift, harmonize heaven and earth. Rock back, pivot, lower hand picks up the ball. One more time, stepping out, weight shift, rock back, pivot, pick up the ball. Transition, Kung Fu Tai Chi master rotates the ball. Guitar hand holds the ball and it drops it. Upper hand falls, and then we take a step, weight shift, rock back, front toes come up, pivot, face forward, lower hand picks up the ball, foot steps in. You might lose my feet here, but you know where we're going. Lower hand drops the ball, stepping out, weight shift, rock back, the toes come up, you can pivot, lower hand picks up the ball. One more time, drop the ball, stepping out, weight shift, couch hand is the lower hand, so it sweeps up, embrace the tiger. Now we're going to take a couple steps back. So the guitar hand floats down, follow the momentum, the couch foot comes up, and stepping back is what turns you. to cut through to clarity. Couch hand floats up, and then follow the momentum to step back, cut through to clarity. 2 more steps, stepping back. This time with the couch hand, step to parallel and wrapping around, embracing the tiger, couch hand on the outside. Part the clouds. The couch hand was on the outside, so it becomes the first cloud down across the body. It floats up, both hands come across, weight shift, and then lift and shift, lift and shift. One more time, lift. When your hand comes in front of your face, lower hand embraces the tiger, and then gather heaven and earth. We're home free. Press through your heels to come up, and then gather from the sky. One more time, inhale, exhale, press through your heels, inhale, exhale. This time, as you gather heaven, step the couch foot in, and exhale down to center. Let your arms float out to the sides, and then bring your couch hand in to embrace the ball, and you can lift off of that couch heel. So now we're ready to go again. So we've got the couch hand underneath, we're holding our Tai Chi ball, and we're ready to go. So stepping out onto the heel, harmonize heaven and earth. Weight shift, rock back, the toes come up, pivot, lower hand picks up the ball, embrace Tai Chi, bring everything in. Step out onto the heel, weight shift, roll through that front foot, rock back, the toes come up, pivot, lower hand gathers everything in. We're going to transition here, so flip the ball over. Lower hand drops the ball, step out onto the heel, weight shift, roll through the front foot, brush knee, sen chi, rock back, the front toes come up, pivot, lower hand picks up the ball, gathers that back foot in. Again, drop the ball and step out onto the heel, weight shift, transition. Lower hand sweeps up, embrace the tiger. The couch hand is closest to us. It drops down, follow the momentum. The arm helps you to lift the foot, take a small step back, and then settle into your back leg. That's what turns you. And then the guitar hand reaches out, stepping back and cut through. This time, step to parallel. The couch arm sweeps around, and it's out front again. So it will part the clouds and sweep down in front, and then lift and shift, lift and shift. And this time, when the hand comes in front of the face, embrace the tiger with the lower arm, open wide, gather from the earth, press through your heels to come up, relax, gather from the sky, and relax. One more time, big breath in and out. Press through your heels, come up and out. This time, inhale, gathering from heaven, step the guitar foot in, and exhale, guiding the hands down the body, guiding the mind through the heart, allowing it to settle deep into the lower dantian. You can let your arms relax by your sides and just take a moment to just stand and breathe. Feel your body. Feel the breath as it moves through your body. Feel the space around your mind. Good. We can rub our hands together. And maybe massage our faces up and down a couple times if you want to. Maybe over the top of your head a couple times if you'd like, and down the back of the neck and around over the chest to the lower ribs and the belly and around the waist to the lower back. And then draw the hands out. Shake them out. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording now.